What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about things that are only normal in the UK. As an American, I don't know what normal is like in the UK or what normal means to someone in the UK. So I thought it would be fun to take a look at this Reddit discussion where somebody asked, what's one thing you thought was normal, but then you left the UK and you were surprised that it's only a UK thing? This is such an interesting question, and it really is true. You live your whole life in one place, and then when you finally step out of that bubble, it's immediately apparent like what was only normal where you were born and raised, and everywhere else does it different. This is very applicable to Americans, I think. So I'm very interested to see this from the UK point of view. What is only normal in the UK? It can be anything from daily life, slang, words, different meanings, something else. Let's take a look at some of the top answers. And a bunch of people from the UK actually answered this question. So let's take a look. This says sense of humor. Oh, yes. This is a good one. Wait, I actually could have maybe thought of this one because there's the British sense of humor. It's a famous phrase, honestly. That Brit This is a good one. That British people have their own distinct sense of humor that really only British people like understand and think is funny. Although there's like British TV shows that are funny that Americans enjoy as well, I think. Maybe we don't understand everything about British humor, but I think a lot of us enjoy it. As a 16-year-old from Belfast, I played in a football tournament in New England. We stayed with a host family who had a kid playing in the tournament. So this person stayed in New England with a host family and got to experience life outside of the UK. One morning at breakfast, the TV was on. The Smurfs cartoon came on. "Ah, the Smurfs!" I exclaimed. "I love the Smurfs." Okay. "Are the Smurfs big in Ireland?" said the dad. No. No, I said. "They are the same size," I replied, smiling. See, I immediately know this is a joke. Maybe I know this because the person's kind of teeing it up in this comment, but I understand that it's a joke, but I'm guessing this American dad didn't understand. No response. Tumbleweed. A sense of almost being of being offended. Almost, he was offended. I think this is a good, decent joke to come up with that in the spur of the moment. Are the Smurfs this big in Ireland? As in popular. No, they're the same size. That's like a dad joke or something. I like that. The fact that this took place in the US is coincidental. Having considered the replies and being a dad to four sons, there's a good chance the dad in this case set up the joke and was annoyed that I stole his thunder. I don't know. Is that why they looked annoyed? There's a decent chance that this American just didn't understand you were joking at all. I think there's a very decent chance of that. Shame, that's gold. That's what I think. Twisting the meaning of words for a joke is pinnacle of British humor. I couldn't do without it. There's a lot of that's one example of British humor, right? There's also like other more casual humor, like among friends in Britain. From what I understand, if you're friends with people in the UK, you might like tease each other or almost be like mean to each other as a way of joking around or showing that you actually like each other in a funny way. That's kind of a form of like humor Americans don't really understand. We don't always understand sarcasm, I think, and certainly not the dry humor, witty, ironic, self-deprecating humor that I think British comedy is known for. So that's a good one. That is something that's really only normal and understood in the UK, I think. What else do we have here? Quite honestly, when I was young and I found out healthcare wasn't seen as a basic human right globally, my entire worldview was shattered. Oh my gosh, yeah. Imagine imagine my point of view as an American imagine my surprise when I started to learn that healthcare is like can be universally covered in other parts of the world, that it's paid for with taxes, and you can go get healthcare. You can go to hospitals in places like the UK, and they will take you in and help you and not mail you a bill or ask you about your insurance card and your deductibles and copays and your if you're in network of the hospital and if they take your insurance. Apparently that's not normal. So this is like the opposite of what this person from the UK is feeling. They were shocked that healthcare isn't seen as a basic human right. I mean, I think we're still pretty privileged here to live in the United States where we have access to healthcare. Not everyone in the United States, like it is a bit sad, but a lot of us at least can get the care we need and don't go bankrupt. Like we can survive on our current system as bad as it is. And that's a blessing there. There's lots of places around the world where it's not just so matter of fact that you're going to be able to get health care. And if you go to a hospital in the United States with no money, like there's laws, like they have to accept you. They have to help you. They won't just leave you lying there bleeding on the waiting room floor. So yeah, we are extremely blessed to have free healthcare. Big up the NHS. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm glad in a way that this is like shocking to people in the UK because us Americans are sitting around here wondering like, isn't this weird that our system is so bad and like built around making insurance companies and pharmaceutical companies and hospitals money? Why is our healthcare system like a business? What is it? Is it just us? Apparently so, and I'm glad that that's disturbing to people in the UK too. Yeah, that shouldn't be normal, I think. But what else do we have here? Queuing. Oh, queuing, like waiting in line, what we call it. I natively thought this is what everyone did. An orderly way to get something, but no. Go on holiday and it's a mad free for all. I know this is true a lot of the time in the United States. This person is saying they live in Spain and they find the lack of respect for queuing madness. Maybe in Spain, maybe in other countries, but I think queuing is just held to a whole other standard or level in the UK. Because the fact that when people in the UK leave and are like surprised to see the lack of queuing here in America or other places is kind of funny. I'm kind of jealous of that. It's so normal and expected in the UK that it's strange when you leave the UK. Here in America, it's like we there's queuing. Like you're supposed to form a line. In grocery stores, people do an okay job of it because there's designated aisles and markings. So it's hard to ignore. But even then, you'll get people coming up like pretending you're not in line, cutting in front of you. And if you're out in public, waiting for an elevator or a train or good luck. Good luck thinking anyone's just gonna form an orderly line. No, 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 no. So from my point of view, the chaos is what's normal. So I'm also a bit jealous of this. Just like the healthcare, this is like the same kind of thing. People in the UK leave the UK and are like, why is it so much crazier everywhere else? No queuing? No healthcare? What's going on? It's like I'm jealous of that point of view, to be honest. All right, let's keep going. Being so bloody miserable and negative all the time. Okay, so this is things that are only normal in the UK being miserable and negative all the time. Well, that's sad. Turns out there are actually places in the world where people get out of bed happy and smiling for the day and reflect that happy energy back at you. Is this really a UK attitude, or is this person Hail Mary 74 just having like a bad year or something? I hope it gets better for for them, to be honest. Or maybe this is like I have heard that like Americans, if nothing else, we're good at like expressing ourselves and maybe being over cocky, overconfident, and kind of over opinionated. But the one benefit it might have is like we're so ignorant about things. We kind of live in this la la land of where at least we're like happy or optimistic about the future because we don't think too deeply about it. So that can be like powerful in a way. I think if you're almost too introspective or too analytical or critical of yourself and the world, that can actually almost go too far and be a bad thing and make you depressed, like you understand a bit too much about the horrors of the world. It's a fine line, you want to be informed, but I have heard something like this about sort of a British attitude of being a little more negative about things, maybe? Is that true? Do people in the UK find this to be true? I don't know. Sounds horrible. Wow. Yeah. It's the lack of vitamin D. I don't know. Maybe. That's an interesting cultural. I don't know if you can make that sweeping of a statement about a whole culture like the UK. Maybe there's something there. That's interesting. What else do we have? Squash. Like the sport. No, as in the drink. Squash. Squash is a drink. I drink it all day. It doesn't exist anywhere else. You have to drink diluted juice. It's madness. Squash. This sounds a bit familiar. I think I've heard of this. This is definitely a UK thing. Squash. It's a drink or a drink mix or something? It definitely doesn't exist here in America. I've never seen it. It's just this hypothetical thing. At this point in time, it's all hypothetical to me, the existence of this squash. And it doesn't exist anywhere else. So this is only a UK thing. Like people from other countries wouldn't even know what this is. I sure don't. A while back, I had a Mexican housemate when I lived in London. He found squash to be disgustingly sweet until he realized you have to dilute it. I wouldn't have realized. I'm glad I know now if I ever run into squash. You like combine it with water or something? I did that as a child. One undiluted glass of Vitmo. And I vowed to never touch the stuff. What is squash taste like? Okay. Squash. Yeah, that's a great example. That's a great example. I don't know if that is something that people from the UK experience. It must be true, because I'm not in the UK and I don't know about squash. That's a fascinating one. A whole category of drink that we don't even know about. Maybe we need to get on board with that. Okay. What else do we have? I'm learning some interesting new things about the UK. Electric kettle. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. I didn't know about the existence of electric kettles for quite some while until I started learning more about the UK here on YouTube. But electric kettles sound amazing. Like I'm still like when I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna share something with you. You know, I'm gonna let you in a little bit here. Don't judge me, but when I need hot water, I'll microwave a cup of water. Or boil a pot of water. The rare times I've made tea or something, green tea for my health, you know? I've never seen an electric kettle in real life. Again, this is something that's purely theoretical to me. I'm told they exist. It's like some kind of modern teapot or something, right? And it sounds very cool. There are a lot of scenarios, well, not a lot. Yeah, maybe that's the problem. There's some scenarios where we need warm or hot water, but we don't make like tea every day or something. So Americans just don't have the need for the electric kettle, I guess, even though I think a lot of Americans would like it. Yes, this is absolutely true. I think this is a UK thing. As an American living in the UK, my sister came to visit from California. She bought an electric kettle as soon as she got home and has convinced my friends and family to buy electric kettles too. She might have started a small revolution, right? I'm I'm guessing you could get this on Amazon or something. I'm actually kind of coming around to the idea of an electric kettle. Is it bad to microwave water? Does that do something to it? You know, I microwave all this other stuff in the true American fashion. I don't know. All right, what else do we have here? Asking for tea in a cafe and automatically getting black tea with milk. Huh. If you asked for tea in the United States, you would get like sweet tea or iced tea. You wouldn't get the tea that Brits are hoping for. Like a cup of tea that you're gonna put some milk in or something for like tea time. We here in America, we would assume you mean like iced tea or sweet tea or something. So this is definitely true. I live in the Czech Republic. For now, if you went into somewhere and asked for tea, they'd be like, "What do you mean tea? What tea? Fruit, herbal, green, matcha, white tea, jam tea, fermented tea, cold tea?" Yeah, yeah, this is so true. This is interesting, seeing this from the UK point of view. Because here in America, I absolutely would see this happening. I would be like, tea? Like, what do you mean, tea? Like, what kind of tea? And just be like, tea, tea. I'd be like, no, I don't know. As soon as I leave the UK, I just have to forget that tea exists, which is annoying as I love tea. I have yet to have anything that wasn't a cup of sheer disappointment in a foreign country. Yeah, maybe that is the play. Maybe that is the best way. You'd be hard pressed to find like what is the tea that Brits even like use to make the standard cup of British tea? Like what even flavor is that? I don't even know what brand you would buy. Also, coffee tends to be better and cheaper, so it's not that much of a problem. Yes. Very good. This person has absolutely nailed it. I think in the rest of the world outside the UK, certainly here in America, just switch over to coffee. Like, coffee is our tea. It's that warm drink that we have in the morning, maybe even the afternoon, if you're not feeling up to spunk that day. Yeah, that's a very, very good one. Okay, is there anything else here? Sandwich, snack, drinks, and meal deals. Yeah, I learned about this at some point. This is like some sort of food and beverage deal you can get at a grocery store or a gas station or something. This is not a thing in America. Sometimes there's like some kind of like deal for a hot dog and a drink, maybe, or might be something, but nothing like called a meal deal, Nothing like that. This is definitely a UK thing. I've been to quite a few countries in different parts of the world, never seen them. Correct me if I'm wrong. No, I think that's accurate. And definitely it doesn't go by that name. Sounds very nice though. Very cool. There's a lot of cool things in the UK that don't exist here in America and other places. That's kind of what I got out of this. I'm a bit jealous, but I really enjoyed this discussion. A lot of people commented, and these were really interesting insights into UK culture. It's basically like a bunch of cool stuff that's in the UK, and then people in the UK leave and are like, why don't other people have this? And I tend to agree. Why don't we have this? That's what I left here thinking. But this was quite fun, and I enjoyed this. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts or your suggestion for things that are only normal in the UK. That'd be very fun to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to the UK and UK culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.